Online open raising strategy. You are not just putting money in the pot when you open. In online poker games, an open raise is you buying position, building fold equity, and setting stack to pot ratio. If you treat it like a habit, you bleed expected value, especially once rake and tough player pools show up. We are focusing on open raising specifically, not limping, not seeing a flop, not set mining. You open because you expect the raise to outperform every passive option, given who is left to act and how the table reacts. What your open raise accomplishes. An open raise does 3 profitable things at once. First, it can win the pot immediately through folds. Second, it isolates weaker ranges and denies equity to hands that would have realized too cheaply. Third, it creates an initiative advantage, which matters a ton online when people multi-table and default to autopilot lines. Think in expected value terms. Your open is profitable when the combination of immediate folds plus post-flop edge beats the cost of getting played back at. That cost includes being 3-bet, going multi-way, and paying rake. Rake is not the whole story, but online it pushes you toward cleaner, higher equity opens and away from marginal junk. The real driver, who is left to act. Most players choose open ranges based only on position. Good. Great players also weight who is behind them. A tight regular in the blinds with a low 3-bet means you can open wider. A capable regular with a high 3-bet and good post-flop pressure means you tighten or you open hands that respond well to 3-bets. This is where a lot of theory guys still punt. They open a chart range into the wrong opponents. Context dictates strategy. Your open range is not a static list. It is a response to the players left to act and the rake structure on that site. Open sizes, stop giving away information. In most modern online pools, your default should be small and consistent. Something like 2.0x to 2.5x across most positions works, because it risks less when you get 3-bet and still pressures the blinds. Bigger is not automatically better. You do not need 3.5x to protect ace-king offsuit, and better, you need a size that keeps your range intact. When do we deviate? If the blinds are sticky and call too much, you can size up slightly to extract more with your value hands and punish their equity realization. If the blinds are aggressive 3-betters, keep it smaller so your opens are cheaper and your 4-bet game has room. Building a strong default opening range. Here's the hierarchy I want you to internalize. High card strength prince, because it dominates and makes top pair that can value bet. Suited connectivity matters because it gives you robust equity and board coverage. Offsuit junk is the first thing to cut because it realizes poorly and gets punished by squeeze and rake. As a clean default in most online environments. First, early position, tighter. Prioritize strong broadways, robust suited aces, and pairs that can withstand pressure. Second, middle position, widen with more suited broadways and some suited connectors, as long as players behind are not out of line. Third, cutoff and button. You can open widest because position multiplies your post-flop edge. This is where you win your hourly. Fourth, small blind. Be careful. You are out of position versus the big blind. Open tighter than the button and use sizes that do not torch expected value when you get 3-bet. Relative strength is everything. A hand like King-Jack offsuit can look pretty, but it is fragile. It gets dominated, it hates 3-bets, and it makes one-pair hands that are hard to realize out of position. Compare that to King-Jack suited, which has better playability and cleaner equity on many textures. Open raising versus limping, anti-hope. Poker. Limping is usually you surrendering initiative and inviting multi-way pots. In online pools, that is a disaster, because rake eats small edges and players defend wide. If you limp pocket fours planning to set mine, you are literally paying for a dream that misses most of the time, and you still get squeezed, ISO raised, or outplayed post-flop. Open raising forces opponents to make a mistake now. They either fold too much, call with dominated hands, or 3-bet too wide and create a range problem for themselves. Limping does the opposite. It makes their decisions easy and your life hard. Responding to 3 bets starts pre-flop. Your opening strategy must anticipate the next decision. Some hands are great opens because they can 4-bet for value or call 3 bets comfortably. Some hands are opens only when the 3-bet threat is low. For example, suited aces are not just pretty. They can call 3 bets, they have blockers, and they make strong draws. Meanwhile, weak offsuit broadways often become folds versus 3 bets, which means they are only profitable opens if the player behind is not attacking. Hand scenario: button pressure print. Game: 100 NL online. 100 big blinds effective, 6 max. You're on the button with Queen Jack suited of hearts. Folds to you. You open to 2.2x. The big blind calls. Flop: King of spades, 7 of hearts, 2 of clubs, big blind checks. Action: you bet small around 1/3 pot. This is a high expected value continuation bet because your range has more King X, more strong broadways, and you leverage position. You also have backdoor potential plus 2 overcards to second pair. Big blind folds a chunk of air and weak 7x. When called, you continue with turns that add equity, like an ace of diamonds or 10 of spades, and you check back some turns to realize your equity cleanly. The point is not that Queen Jack suited of hearts is a monster. The point is that opening the button lets you take a profitable stab with range advantage and position in an online pool that overfolds to small C bets. Common leaks that crush your win rate. First, opening too wide in early position, then folding to every 3-bet. That is lighting money on fire. Second, changing your open size by hand strength. Online regulars notice fast and even weak players feel it. Third, open limping small pairs to set mine. You miss, you fold, you pay rake when you hit, and you rarely get paid enough. Fourth, ignoring the blinds. If a blind is a tough regular, you tighten. If they are a recreational calling station, you widen and value print. Your default plan you can execute while multi-tabling. When you are playing fast online, you need a repeatable system. Start with a solid position-based framework. Then apply 2 adjustments: the 3-bet threat behind you and the calling tendencies of the blinds. Finally, keep your sizes consistent so your range stays protected. If you do that, your open raising stops being random. It becomes a machine that generates fold equity, isolates weaker players, and sets up profitable post-flop lines. Key takeaway: open raise because it is the highest expected value way to enter pots online. Use a consistent small sizing, build position-based ranges that favor high card strength and suited playability, and then adjust for who is left to act, especially the blinds. If you cannot defend versus 3 bets or realize equity post-flop, it is not an open, it is a leak. Now, let's test your edge. Question 1. According to the article, what are the 3 profitable things an open raise accomplishes? Answer: win the pot immediately through folds, isolate and deny equity versus weaker ranges, and gain initiative advantage. Explanation: the article frames open raising as a multi-purpose expected value play. It can take the pot now, improve how equity gets realized, and give you the betting lead. Question 2. What does the article call the real driver of open raise decisions beyond just your position? Answer: who is left to act behind you, especially the blinds. Explanation: it emphasizes adjusting your opening range to the opponents behind. Tight, low 3-bet players allow wider opens. Aggressive, the 3-bettors force tighter, more 3-bet resistant opens. Question 3. What default open raise size range does the article recommend for most modern online pools, and why? Answer: about 2.0x to 2.5x. It risks less versus 3 bets, while still pressuring the blinds and keeping your range intact. Explanation: the article argues for small, consistent sizing to avoid losing more when played back at and to prevent giving away information by changing sizes. Question 4. In the hierarchy for building a strong default opening range, what types of hands should be cut first, and what 2 qualities does the article prioritize? Answer: cut offsuit junk first. Prioritize high card strength and suited connectivity. Explanation. The text says high cards dominate and make value top pairs, suited connectivity improves equity and board coverage, and offsuit junk realizes poorly and gets punished by squeezes and rake. Question 5. In the button scenario with Queen Jack, suited of hearts on King of Spades, 7 of hearts, 2 of clubs, what flop action does the article recommend and what is the main reason it's high expected value? Answer, Z-bet small, around 1/3 pot, because you have range advantage and leverage position to fold out a chunk of the big blind's air and weak hands. Explanation. The article states the button's opening range contains more King X and strong broadways, making a small continuation bet profitable in pools that overfold to small C bets. Study hard, play smart. That's it for now. I'll see you in the next lesson.